My husband has been straying away for the last few years. We got married at 23, and now we're 33. After 10 years of marriage, I guess it's sort of a normal thing, losing the butterflies. Our bedroom life was normal, I guess. Sometimes boring, sometimes extremely passionate. Basically like any other marriage. I looked the same after so many years. Maybe just a little less muscular and lean, but I didn't gain weight. I'm not saying it would be an excuse for not loving your wife anymore, but I just want to shield myself from that type of comments some men like to make. In the last year, he's been suggesting to spice things up in the bedroom. Of course, only by his standards. I suggested using tools on him, but he denied it fiercely. The only thing acceptable to him was inviting another woman in our sheets. I'm not naive. That's the moment I knew my marriage was over. So I decided to play a little game and start trolling him. I asked, why wouldn't we invite a man? He got so mad and offended. Like, how can he be in that situation with another man? To which I said, and I could with a woman? To which he said it wouldn't be so disgusting if we did it that way. I looked at this man in front of me and wondered how has he become so crazy, or if I ever knew him, if his true personality just started showing as he's getting older and doesn't have the strength to hide it anymore. I said if he wanted an open marriage, he could do the labor himself. I wasn't going to help him score, but be sure I would do the same. I could see that he didn't like that idea because he's a hypocrite, but he knew it would be the only way he could get his own way. So he said yes, not like I would ask his approval, but anyway. I cried for 2 days when he wasn't around. I cried secretly at work. I didn't want this. I didn't want to get involved with random men, but I knew I needed to show him, to make a point. When I got back from work, he told me proudly that he installed Tinder. I said, so I guess I should too. And I did in front of him. In the first hour, I got 3 swipes, and he had nothing. He said angrily, beginner's luck. I said, we'll see. The next day, I had 50 swipes and he had nothing. He was getting frustrated. I was a fool, so I thought maybe this would be it. Maybe it was just a show he wanted to make to let me know he's still desirable. So I didn't interact with these men. But the next day, he said he wants a different approach and went to a bar. You have no idea how painful it is when your partner keeps showing you how much they want other people. While he was out, my whole life flashed before my eyes, our entire marriage. I messaged a guy on Tinder and asked to meet tomorrow night. When my husband came home with no success, it took everything in me to put on a smug, provocative smile and taunt him. No luck? He just looked at me and said nothing. I said, tell me, since I've got a date tomorrow night, how does this open marriage thing work exactly? Is this like a poly thing? Am I allowed to bring him to our home? Or should I go to a motel? He said to me bluntly, you're not going. The rage I felt inside of me was crazy. Of course, we had a fight of back and forth on who is right and who is wrong. I tried to point out his hypocrisy, but arguing with someone who has that much cognitive dissonance is impossible. I went to sleep in the guest room. The next day, I packed my bags and relocated them all to my sister's house, until I found a new place. I knew he was working late, so he wouldn't notice the lack of my clothing in the closet. But I needed to pull one more stunt. I went to dinner with the guy from Tinder. I never intended to go all the way with him, but I needed him to make a point to my now ex-husband. I paid for dinner, since I kind of felt bad. I knew that there wouldn't be any hooking up once we got to my ex-husband's house. I let the guy know everything, but I didn't want to tell him how I don't plan to do anything with him. When we arrived at the house, the ex was furious. The level of fury was unmatched. But the Tinder guy was bigger, and I knew my ex wouldn't dare to do anything to him. He never pun asterisk head up. He just yelled at me. The Tinder guy didn't let him speak to me that way, and called out his hypocrisy, as he was the one who wanted an open marriage. He said you can't have it open only on one end, because it's blatant cheating. Then I said, come on sugar, we'll find a motel. And we left. The Tinder guy kinda realized what I was doing, and he told me, I had a nice night, kissed me and got me an Uber. The next day, he texted me again and said, want to repeat the date? Only without the husband part.